Evoluent reached out to me to review their products, and honestly, I didn't know who they were. But long story short, their business is mostly in making ergonomic keyboards and mice, with the occasional sidestep into convenient products you probably didn't know you needed. That's actually quite clever. Today we have the Evoluent Vertical Mouse 4 Wireless and the Wired Essentials Compact Keyboard. I've been using these over the last week, and I do have some thoughts about both of them. Let's get into it. The Evoluent keyboard has some glossy, shiny plastic that I'm not a fan of. Like this silvery top is just not a good look. And when the light shines off of it, it's kind of distracting. Also, this is the first keyboard I've owned that had no actual feet to prop it up at any angle. That's not a negative, as we'll talk about later. It actually works pretty well. Now, when you see the mouse, you realize there's a bit of a color scheme going on for their products. And honestly, it looks way better on the mouse. It has some good weight to it. A quick glance at the mouse immediately lets you know that you're not gonna just plug it up and use it like your average mouse. So about those ergonomics, the first thing or the key thing I want you guys to realize is the differences between a previous mouse I had. This one here is what I bought from Wish. It literally only cost me maybe $10 or something like that. If I could find the order screen or product page, I'll put it up for you. And I want you to realize the differences between this mouse. So this mouse is about $100. I'll talk about the price a little later about both the mouse and the keyboard. This being a little about $10. You can clearly see right from looking at just the front face where the clickers are. So here's the clickers for the cheaper one. Here's the 3 buttons, 1, 2, 3, and the mouse scroll wheel for the more expensive one. You can see there's a clear difference here. There's no place really to rest your hand on this cheaper one. It's very, very light. Feels like there's almost nothing inside there. Where the buttons are placed seem to be okay, and it's actually on the back side here is where you have your left and right click. And but it's not truly ergonomic, and it gets a little tiring to use as you find yourself trying to balance your arm, so it's not always constantly sliding across the desk like that. So it's a bit of a pain to use this after a while. I couldn't use this for an extended period of time. I was very uncomfortable. Now, when you come over here to the Evoluent mouse, remember that pinky rest I was talking about earlier? You don't feel the desk. Instead, all you feel is just the mouse, and it becomes very natural. When I put my hand on the mouse, it rests completely on the mouse itself, and the mouse feels like a moving surface, like its own mobile surface. And there's no, I don't feel the desk at all, and it doesn't tire my hand. I don't feel like I have to balance my arm in order to move the mouse fluently. I can just literally just put my hand on the mouse and just start moving it, and all my fingers rest comfortably in their respective areas on the mouse. So my 2 fingers down below here is on my third mouse, my right click, left click on the top, and then if I feel like so, this middle button here is actually a double click by default. And I just want to quickly kind of compare these two to let you know exactly where the differences lie. You could buy a cheaper version. You could buy this guy from Wish if you feel. But if you really want comfort as something that will last you much, much longer, this is probably what you need, the vertical upright mouse from Evoluent. I have the upright right hand version of the mouse. And yes, they have a left hand version for my lefties. And when you check the site, you see that Evoluent has left and right hand versions for many of their products. The mouse is built for comfort with everything from the thumb rest to the pinky finger rest. They don't actually call it that. Which also serves as a quick way to move the mouse without moving the pointer by simply tilting it to the side. We even have 6 configurable buttons you can configure with the software you download from the website. That includes the left and right mouse click. That also includes the 4 extra custom functions you can program to this bottom button here, which you can access by holding it down and clicking any of the buttons for your fingers, including the scroll wheel, all while keeping the mouse comfortable for extended periods of time. Now, remember when I said earlier that the keyboard sitting flat was actually not an issue, but actually a pretty good thing. That's because the keyboard is no exception, as it sits flat to the surface to reduce the wrist strain while typing. and has a number of shortcut buttons to speed up your workflow. However, I would definitely pass on putting an extra delete key right next to the space bar. I can't help but fear that I'm going to hit that key at the wrong time, even though technically that hasn't happened so far. The keyboard uses scissor keys that feel great and are quiet, making this one of the best keyboards I've ever used. However, we can't forget about the price. The Evoluent Comeback keyboard as of filming is around $49.95, while the upright mouse will dig a little deeper into your wallet at around $109.95. One thing I want to note about buying ergonomic products, products like these, is that you really need to adjust the way you sit at your desk and the way that you work in general to get the most out of these products. When I started using the upright mouse, after about 30 minutes, I felt some pain in my wrists. I quickly realized that the problem wasn't the mouse, but it was me. A quick adjustment with my chair, sitting upright, and kind of leveling out my arm with the desk made it so that the mouse was loads more comfortable to use and pretty much never bothered me again. It's very natural to use this mouse, and I've been using it ever since for extended periods of time. This is what I'm talking about when I say in order to get the most out of these kind of products, these ergonomic products, you have to be willing to change the way that you sit at your desk and the way that you work, and then you'll realize how comfortable and how much better these kind of products really are. That's about all I got for you today with these two products. I hope you did enjoy this review. I really like this keyboard and mouse from Evoluent. They did a really great job at making a comfortable mouse to use that's upright and also a pretty interesting keyboard. Even though I think the keyboard, the design of the keyboard could use a little bit of work, it's not off-putting. It looks just fine on my desk, and I'm definitely going to be using this actually for the extended period of time. For pretty much just going to sit on my desk and stay there until I find a keyboard of similar feel to how this one works right now. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this review, and I'll see you guys again another time. You have a good one. Bye.